Hi my Stampin' friends, thank you for joining me today on what is hashtag 16 of my Advent Christmas projects, and I hope that you've been enjoying them. I'm Sandra at Arty Paper Crafters, an independent Stampin' Up demonstrator, and I'm delighted to share with you my project for today for Christmas, which is this little envelope punch board project with a belly band, and it opens to reveal some Toffifee. Now Toffifee is something that my husband and son adore, and I like to give them obviously as gifts, and this is a perfect gift for Christmas because you can put it under the tree and it'll look beautiful, and it's really easy to make. Let's put that back on there. Really easy to make, so let's crack on and make it. So today we are making it with the Be Merry Christmas paper from the Stampin' Up catalogue. All the products that I use today are available to purchase from my online store, should you be interested. We're also using the Oh What Fun stamp set, which has 17 different stamps, all photopolymer, so they're see-through, perfect for your Christmas projects. I love it. So that's what we're using today, and we've got a sheet of Be Merry DSP. Where's my... If I get that out, it'll be a good start, won't it? Right then, so this measures 10 by 10 inches, 25.5 by 25.5 centimetres, and we are going to put it in the punch board at 3.5 inches. Punch and score. Turn it to the opposite side, 3.5 inches. Punch and score. Now you will find that you are going off the edge of the paper. Don't worry about that, we'll marry that edge up later. Then turn it round to the short edge and flip it to the opposite side so that you can marry up your score lines. So we put it in at 3.5 inches, and then we score the bit that we missed, and then you can do the same on the opposite side. Put it back in at 3.5 inches and score, and you'll find that your score lines marry up on all the way across, because this is such a large sheet of paper. Let me pull you out a bit. Because this is such a large sheet of paper, you come off the edge, so be careful you don't damage your paper when you do that. Right, so we put it back in the punch board and we line it up with the score line that we made here, which comes across here, and let me move that out of the way. So we marry that up in here. Let me see if I can show you on this side. Might be better this side, although I'm not sure. My score line goes down here and across here, and it looks like I forgot to. Let's start again, shall we? We've put it in at 3.5 inches, we've punched and we've scored. We've flipped it over to the opposite side to join up our lines. Then you put it back in at the same place, so where you started, and we're going to put it in at 4 3/4, and we're going to punch and score. Flip it back to the opposite side, in at 4 3/4, punch and score. So now what you will have is you'll have two little indents on that side, and when you go to the opposite side, two little indents. So now you put it back in, follow those lines, which is here. This line comes across here. I know you can't see that very well, but it does. Don't know if I can show you it anyway. This paper doesn't show it very well. So we're back in, punch and score. Move it along to the next score line, punch and score. And that's what you're now left with on that corner. Flip it to the opposite side, match it up with those marks, those indents, punch and score. Move it, flip it along to the next line, punch and score. So let me pull you out. Move that over the way. So that is what you will be left with. You will have 2 little indents there, to that side, to that side. So you're scoring it at 3.5 and 4 3/4 inches. Flip it to the opposite side, and then you're marrying up your score lines. I hope that's clear. I think you can, I don't even know, I think you can see the lines there and there on the white side. So now we are going to round off our corners. You don't have to do this, it's entirely up to you. And then we'll get rid of those bits because they'll just get in the way. We don't need the envelope punch board now, so let's fold and burnish our lines. Right, so you'll have a wide end and a narrower end. This is the long side and that's the short side. So now what we need to do, this is the top. It doesn't matter which the top is on this because there's no pattern, but if you have a pattern you might want to bear in mind. So this is the bottom, so we cut in and notch that little piece on the corner there. We'll do the same on this side, cut in and notch a piece out. And now what we're going to do along the top here, we're going to cut these off completely because we don't need these. So cut those off completely. Right, get rid of the bits. I will put all the measurements on my website. If you want to click in that little down arrow description bar, that'll take you over to my website where all the measurements will be left for you. So this is the bottom with the tabs, and now we get our lovely Toffifee, and that fits in there perfectly. So using fast fuse today, you can use wet glue, whatever you prefer. I'm going to use this for speed. That folds up like that, nice and neat. So fast fuse goes on here and on here. Hold that nice and secure, press that down, and that is our box made, and it just wraps those perfectly. Wraps it perfectly. Now for the belly band, this is a piece of the Be Merry DSP again. You can decide whether you want to have the flap as the front of your box or the back. I think I've used the back. And this piece of DSP measures 12 by 3 inches, and I've just wrapped it around. So what we're going to do, I think that's upside down, isn't it? So wrap that round, bearing in mind if you've got a design on your belly band piece that you need to make sure that faces the right way whichever side you've decided is the front. So that goes on like this. Pull that down slightly bit more. Now you don't want your belly band to be too tight because you won't get it off, so that's why I haven't scored it. But if you pull it together, you'll see that you've got a little bit of give. So just pull that up as far as you need to, with still having some movement on there. And then when you're happy with that, you just press your paper and pinch it along to define where you need to go with your score lines, and then we're just going to reinforce those with a bone folder just to tidy them up, make sure that they're nice and neat. Same this end. It's really pretty, this designer paper, I really like it. Right then, so we're wrapping that round that way. So that's going like that. So we're now going to get some fast fuse and just put a little row, couple of rows along there. Centre that in the middle and just make sure that that's not wrapped too tight so that you can get it off again. And there you see you've got movement on there, so that's perfect. Now to hide up this, on my original, on my prototype, I have got 2 pieces of cardstock. This is cherry cobbler and garden green to match the colours in my paper. And I've got the piece of garden green measures 4.5 by 2 inches, and this piece measures 4.25 by 2 inches. And I've got my banner, triple banner punch, and we're just going to place that in there and punch that down to give us our edge. And again on the cherry cobbler piece, it gives us our edge. And they layer together beautifully. And that goes on here like that. And then I've used my layering circles, framelit dies. You get loads in the pack. Let me show you those. Oh, having an avalanche across here. These are the layering circles. You get loads. Which layer together with the scalloped edges, and I have used this size, which measures, the scalloped size measures 2 3/4 by 2 3/4, and then to save on glimmer paper I have cut out another one here using this size. And then push that through, and that you can save that for another project because nobody's going to see that once we've layered it up with our white one. So that saves paper, and then we need to get this one, which measures, the plain one, which measures 2 3/8 by 2 3/8. We're going to use that to cut out our sentiment. So let's get a piece of Whisper White for our sentiment. And because we're using a photopolymer stamp set, I'm using my foam mat. I've already prepped up on my block the Happy Christmas from the Oh What Fun stamp set, along with a little fancy edge. So we are going to, first of all, I think I'm going to cut my scallop out. So let's get the Big Shot over and cut that out. So let's get that cut out. I thought I'd already cut this out, but obviously I hadn't. No worries, we've got it now. That's it. Put that away. Right then. Foam pad again. Open up our stamps. So I've got garden green ink again to match with my project, cherry cobbler. And I'm going to do the Happy Christmas in the garden green ink. Ink that up and stamp that down. Perfect. And then I've got this little edge, which is this little edge here, this little fun edge just there, which I've prepped on my block, into the cherry cobbler ink and down on here. And then one on the top, like that, and that looks pretty. I like it. Right then, stop fiddling about, Sandra. So let's get this all put together now. Our gift of Toffifee. Right then, bring in our box. And I've got some beautiful silver ribbon. This is to match my silver glimmer paper. So where is that? So that's going to go on there. So to match that, we're going to use some of this silver edged ribbon, which is called Metallic Edged Ribbon, 3/8 of an inch. And we're going to do a ribbon bow. And I'm just wondering if I should do it like a tag so that it hangs with a bow. No, let's stick to plan A. Right, let's glue this down to each other. Whoops. So we're going to put these two together. Like that. And then that is going to go across the top. Like that. And then we're going to get some wet glue, which we're going to put round the edge of our circle, mainly because we've cut the middle out, of course, to save glimmer paper for another project. Good idea, don't you think? So that layers on there, and that looks great. Fabulous. Bit of glitz for Christmas. And then we're going to pop that on there when we've done our ribbon bow now. So ribbon bow, put that together, turn that round, push that through there, pull it up. Keep pulling it, and that has formed a nice little bow already. Ooh, I like this ribbon. I like ribbon that goes into a nice bow. So let's get some scissors and chop some tails. Lovely, smashy. Right then, I'm going to put some dimensionals on the back of this. So let's see. Dimensionals, we'll have 3 dimensionals, and I've put them across the join of that glimmer paper, so that definitely will hold that down properly with no movement. Put that down on there like that. happy Christmas. Ribbon bow here. Voila. Let's get a little glue dot for that. New pack of glue dots. Ooh. So I'm going to put a couple on here just to make sure it stays nice and stuck. And there we have it. How good is that? Doesn't that look pretty? I love it. So that's a nice, quick, easy little envelope punch board for Christmas for Toffifee, which you can buy in most stores. Most supermarkets sell it. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial today. Should you need any supplies, please pop over to artypapercrafters.com, where I'd be delighted to welcome you to my customer rewards program. Thank you for sharing, liking and subscribing to my YouTube channel under SandraR, and I'll see you in a couple of days with another video. Bye for now. Bye.